What is up, you guys? So if you've noticed, I'm very bundled up. We are in a winter wonderland right now, so obviously not in California. Actually, I came all the way out to Pittsburgh to find Sidney Crosby and tell him Alex Ovechkin is better than you. No, not really. I'm actually here because we are currently exploring the Reach Out Reptiles facility. Brand new. We're actually the first ones to do this whole vlogging thing here, so I'm excited to show you guys what's inside. Stay tuned. There's Thomas, official Reach Out Reptiles.
Oh, it's so official.
Video guy.
Yeah, no, we're just kids playing with cameras, man.
Real quick. The infamous chalkboard.
Crumple marble cross. Pretty fun. Looks like a couple different snakes.
Yeah, but they're the same thing.
Yeah. It's all striped down the body, chaotic on the neck. And that's the Anery Carumpa. So pure locality. Morph is fun. That was a surprise. We're trying to breed for Carumpas and an Anery popped out. So this guy's second birthday is Monday, so he'll be 2. Yeah, he's big enough, more than old enough to breed now. Yeah, this is the smallest locality. These are Carumpas. So.
And how big do they get?
They get, well, it's actually a good question. I mean, this is the very first captive bred generation. So until I really quote them, or until I really like grow up those F1s and bred them a couple generations, I wouldn't want to quote it. But they'll be comparable, a little bit smaller maybe than Kalatoas and Madus. So like the adults would look like these. So let's see here. Come here, dude. This is Forest's.
Is this the Reach Streams line right here?
Yeah, he looks like poo today. Come here, buddy. This is a wild caught.
Oh, was he in shed almost?
Yeah, I think he's going in. See how he's real brown.
Yeah.
But
he's still super iridescent though.
Oh yeah, he's normally like bright silver. But you can see this is, this is maybe a 15-year-old wild caught maybe.
He's a wild caught?
Yeah. Oh, wow. They're not too bad. They have really good personalities in general. They're just a little uncomfortable, around humans when they're wild caught.
Yeah.
But they act like a bull snake, they like to reverse and run around and stuff like that. Very, very comparable in personality to a bull snake. And size, really.
Super cool.
So, those are your pures. And then when you get crosses, you can start to get them smaller and smaller if you go enough generations in. So, the cages with these guys, a lot of times people, hey baby, there's a saying going around that because superdwarves can, digest a lot of food, you should feed them whatever the heck they want. And they can digest a lot of food, but the problem is if they're not getting the exercise to process that food into muscle, they get skinny fat. You know what I mean? Where they don't have a good muscle development, and then they end up having problems when they breed long term. Sometimes you can grow them up real quick and get them to breed 1-2 seasons. That's why a lot of breeders that have not been working with their animals for a very long time are like, no, they're fine. I did it once and it was good. I grew them up quick, produced a lot of eggs, and they were fine. But getting that 4th, 5th, 6th clutch out of a healthy animal, and they live forever. You know what I mean? They should be able to live into their 30s.
20, 30 years.
30s, 40s even, I mean, there was a ball python that just laid eggs at 60-something, right? Did you see that?
Is that what it was? No.
Yeah. So, I mean, so this is this is a F1 captive bred Madu female.
Okay.
She's twice proven now, and so she's as old as she needs to be. She came in super fat.
You just leaned her out.
And yeah, by adjusting the cages and getting them exercise and bringing them out frequently, now she just came off a clutch of eggs. So normally these things look like, used gym socks. Her eggs for this season are still incubating. But if you see her, she's got really nice body shape. She's got some good muscle in there, and it's starting to come back. But like, see how there's no spine sticking up? It's nice and round, filled out, good muscle. You can feel that.
You can see she's not.
Squish that muscle. Yeah.
You just feel how ripped she is.
Yeah, man. Here, you roll there. I'll film.
Okay, there we go.
So you can feel.
Oh, you can feel the strength for sure.
Yeah, and it's very sinewy, very muscular.
Yeah.
Easy enough to deal with.
You would never guess she just came off of eggs.
Right. So, her eggs are about a month old, so she might have 4 or 5 meals after that. So she was super thin, but she's bounced right back. She looks good, and what you want to do is get them up to this weight, and then exercise them. This is a really important part of these enclosures, so we're designing enclosures for superdwarfs. And one of the things with superdwarfs is, like, first of all, I hate these glass bypass doors because they smell that air coming through and they just drive themselves crazy trying to push and get out. And the cages are designed where, like, there's a lot of space right here. You'll see them puffy faces all the time because they'll figure out how to escape your cage. And then once they know it, that's all they ever do.
Exactly.
So I don't like those. So what we did was we went with the swing doors, but I wanted to make sure that these are easy to operate from far away from the cage. So I've got these latches that I can operate with a hook, and then when you get them in there, it's really easy to just
close automatically. Yeah.
Close the door and off you go.
Well, because sometimes you get them in, by the time you can slide that door shut, they're already coming right back out.
They're coming back out. Yeah. So this makes it's a safety thing, and it makes it really easy, especially because we have a lot of staff here that works with the animals independently. So
eventually you're going to have everything in these 4x2 by, was it 2.5 you said?
From a certain size down.
A certain size down, yeah.
Yeah. So what's interesting, these are a 4-foot cage.
Yeah.
But I think when most people think of a 4-foot cage, they're thinking of a 4x2. And that's 8 square feet of space. These actually, with the shelf in there and the little bit of extra depth we've given them, gives them 18 square feet of floor space.
Which is huge.
To utilize. So it's more than double the size of your standard 4x2 in usable terms, if that makes sense. So that gives the animals a lot of area. It gives them a bunch of options. We don't have any shelves or anything built into them. If you want to look, this girl might be show us a good example of why you need safety stuff. This is one of our Slayer girls. She just got a great food response.
Oh yeah.
But instead of having any brackets, there's no brackets or anything down below. It's completely free, clear span because you don't want to be, have a snake get tangled up in something when you're dealing with it. Some of our original fronts, we put a sheet, if the shelf came out like this, I put a flat piece like this to brace across the front to hold them in there.
Okay.
And also help hold some substrate up there, whether it's paper or, coconut or whatever you have. But I hated those flat pieces because they would grab on that lip, and then have a lot of issues. If I need to move her out of here, it's very smooth. I've got a smooth lip to pull her out. Makes it really easy to clean in here because it's rounded and not flat.
Yeah.
And then let's see if I have a good example for you. Here's one. Probe placement is always difficult. So, because you want it in the middle, you want it really on the surface that they sit on. That would be ideal, but then they mess up the wire, they move it around.
They pull it.
They pee on it, they pull it. So what that pipe does is I can actually insert my temperature probe into the side and it goes inside of the tube inside the cage.
Oh, that's okay.
So there's no access, the snake has zero access to the probe.
It's still getting the best temperature reading, but they're not messing with it.
And it's literally inserted into the middle of their shelf and I can get exactly the temperature that they want.
That's perfect.
So that little, there's a lot of they're simple things, and then once you see it, you go, aha, and then everybody runs it, and everyone forgets, you know, how the innovation happened originally. But that was a pretty big deal for us to be able to figure out. So, all right, so the next version of these, in order to get the babies up into these and really give them, like, again, access to playgrounds and all that stuff, we're actually building a half-size enclosure that's nice and deep, but it has this height and verticality.
Okay.
So that'll be the grow-ups. It'll be like a 2-foot version, and with the nice swing doors and all that stuff, they can get used to all that interactivity through the enclosure rather than being in a real squat tub.
A slimmer, like shorter rack.
Right, and then imagine having floor-to-space verticality as a baby snake. How much fun is that going to be when they're raised in that environment
everywhere
from day one?
Yeah.
And for me, the big thing is, like, there's a lot of people who do amazing things with full bioactive, naturalistic enclosures and everything. But for every 500 people that do that, there's one of me with the same number of snakes in their collection. We got 500 snakes here. If you got one and you do it really cool for that snake, I equal 500 of you. So the idea is I can benefit the lives of my 500 snakes by trying to figure out a practical, usable, commercial system to offer them all the things that you're able to offer them from your home. And then hopefully through videos like this, the next guy with 500 snakes goes, you know what, if he can do that, maybe I can do that too.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. So I hope you all enjoyed that tour of the Reach Out Reptiles facility.
You suffered! You're the winner!
I'm totally leaving that in the video.